Hey, what's going on, guys? Mike Anderson here with the 1% Solution and Living Motion Monograms. We're here at Great DJ Setups. I told you guys I was going to be talking a little bit more about the custom setup I have that I built and kind of how we came about it. So here to answer your guys' questions if you have any, and feel free to post them during the video and I'll take a look at what's going on. So inside here, basically what we have set up is a couple of MSI gaming laptops. One on the right is for backup, the one on the left is what I use for my main system. And really during events, if I'm doing video mapping, I'll usually use the one on the right here that I've got set up for with Grand VJ XT for that. Down below we've got the Denon MCX 8000. And then below that what I did is fit in a few different items. We've got the Shure QLX D4s receivers and the AS1800 in-ear monitor system. And I'm going to tell you guys about a couple little tricks for that too. One of the cool things about the 8000 here is that it actually has two headphone outputs on it. So you've got your 1/8 inch and your 1/4 inch. And so when I'm using in-ear monitors, if I have any issues where I need to, pop in a set of headphones, or if I'm working with a DJ and I'm the MC, then the DJ can still utilize the headphone output on this and be able to take a look or take a listen to any channels that he wants. I kind of love using the in-ears because it helps protect my hearing. And kind of knock the noise down in the room. But if I am working with a DJ, I'll tell you how I have this set up to where I can hear the main mix and I can also hear the monitor mix. The monitor mix is as in the cue mix, what he might be queuing up next, in case I want to jump in, as we all love to do. So here's our body pack for our in-ear setup. Basically have, these are the Shure 315s. Just got these. Pretty happy with them. They're, I'd say, moderately priced compared to some of the in-ear monitors. Definitely the, still just the single driver. You can get 2 or 3 drivers in these, and but the price goes up significantly, like $500-600 for them. Now, the case itself is, well, as you can see, just an Odyssey case, and it's the light-up case that's designed for the DDJ-sz, the Pioneer board. And I know what you're thinking. Why would you get a case that's not designed for your board? I did it on purpose, mainly because I wanted the space up top. As you can see, we've got more space for laptops, but down below, I wanted extra space because I kind of modified the case a little bit. So here, got our mouse for our keyboard, and the our little gooseneck for the wireless microphone. One little fix I have to do is my makeshift hinges. Those were in kind of a hurry when I was building the system, so I need to replace those. But this is actually storage, so I can toss in my batteries, any extra little pieces or parts that I want to do. But mainly I wanted to have a surface where I could have a mouse nice and close at hand when I am doing the event, instead of reaching up towards the laptop. Because sometimes I want to do stuff a little more subtle than looking like I'm staring at the laptop, say doing toasting and stuff, when we should really be paying attention to what's being said and not the rest of the tasks at hand during that time. So if we want to see around the back side here, I've got both microphone receivers going into antenna combiner, which is just a passive antenna combiner. You can do that with up to 2 wireless receivers, and just drilled right into the side of our case here. So these do come off and pretty much just fit right there on the side when I pack up. Of course, all the cables we just kind of have bundled together, so when I get there I can just start plugging stuff in once I toss the laptops up top. So we've got one of those on each side. Also have like the Shure shark fins. If we're going to be doing toast from a great distance away, then it just makes me feel better when I toss up one of the shark fins or something that's a little more directional to pick up the microphones, give me a little bit better range and less complication with frequencies on that. So I know you guys are probably wondering how the heck we get all this stuff in here. So what we're going to do here is take a moment and toss up this board, show you what's underneath. May have to set you down. Gotta break any new gear. Hold on a second. So still in the process of cleaning this up, but I'm basically getting shorter cables and taking out the bulk in this. Underneath here though, we've got a few things here. We've got our 2 power supplies for our laptops. We've got all of our power supplies for the mics and antennas. I do want to warn you guys, when you do something that's this tight with cables, you may run into some situations where you're going to get some noise. I've come across this a couple times with the mics, where I'm just getting a buzz, and no power conditioner, no nothing is going to help kind of alleviate that. It really, at least in my situation, it had more to do with the fact that we've got nice big power supplies sitting underneath the hood, and the signal cables, you just want to make sure they're not getting close to those power supplies. And so usually every time I've had an issue with any type of noise coming from the mics, I'm able to pop this up and just adjust that mic cable, and it's usually always this side, just because this side is not running into a balanced input. Of course, every DJ mixer's got the XLR, and then we got our 1/4 inch here on the back for mic 2. A little word to all of our DJ controller manufacturers: why is it so hard to have 2 XLR inputs? I'd love to have that question answered. So Randy says, any trouble with heat under the controller? Really, no. I mean, we've got the power supplies there. I mean, I've done a few events where I've been out in outdoor events where, it's been warm, but, at the end of the night, running it all night, there's no amps or anything under here. The laptops are up top. That's the main heat source. And there's enough room in the back where we get a little bit of air movement, but not much. But at the most, at the end of the night, I noticed that it might be a little bit, lukewarm back there, but definitely not anything, anything that's something to be concerned about. Don asks if I run the mics through the 8000. Yes. The mic preamp on this thing preamps on this board are actually really impressive compared to I had the first generation of the 4000. I think it was the 4000 board for the virtual DJ, and that was an improvement over the old mixer I had, which was actually reason it in our showroom system right now, the DNX 400, and I had I think the 900 as well. But one of the issues I kept having, and I was starting to think it might have been the board, but it wasn't, was mic 2 was always hot. I mean, it was insane. I had it turned down to -18 on the receiver here. Cool features is that you can actually take your dBs down, your output down on here, but the signal was still just way too hot. I'd be maybe at 1 and it would just be clipping on the board, and it all came down to the fact that I was using as you can see, if you can see back here, that instrument out. And even if I flip the switch, I've tried everything. I tried tip ring sleeve cables, I tried just balance cables, tip sleeve. Nothing worked. It all came down to having to add the low to high impedance adapter. And that's why I kind of came to that question of like, why is it so difficult for our friends at the manufacturers? Just stop this 1/4 inch input for a second mic. Nobody uses a wired mic as a backup anymore. I mean, at least it's nice that we'll have a mic as a backup for the events, but I would guess that 90% of us all use 2 wireless mics in our system for our events anyway. So Don says, do you ever use an outboard mixer? I've never liked any of the let's see, any of them in the controllers personally. And I'm guessing you meant the preamps for the mics. I really haven't. I was impressed with this the preamps in the mic mixer on this board, and so I didn't really jump to go into something else. I have thought about, for like the ceremony system, of doing a mic mixer. I'm kind of all about having a system that is interchangeable so that I could use it for multiple setups. Because like just this past weekend I did a ceremony indoors, and it was in the same room as the reception. So, the guests went from the ceremony downstairs for a cocktail hour, and then they came right back upstairs once the room was flipped for the reception. And I didn't, I don't want to have to, carry in a ceremony system when I'm gonna have to set up a system anyway. And so, and that's one of the reasons why with the Shure mics, we got our handhelds, but I always get, the body packs for these systems as well. And that way, no matter what, if I'm using the ceremony system or my main system, I can use the lavalier mics or the handheld mics for that. And one of the ideas I've had in the past that I want to try maybe implement this next year is to just have a case that has 4 mics, 4 mic receivers, the antenna distribution system, and a microphone mixer. And then that's just in one case. And that way, if I need to have more mics on any one of my systems, I can just grab that case. I don't have to have a second complete system set up, and then I can mix the microphones from there. But like, if you guys have any suggestions on what I'm looking for is, a really good mic preamp mixer that has low, mids, and highs, because for ceremonies, it's always a balancing act. I'll show you guys a little bit later. This is kind of half of the system I use this is my compact version, but there's a second piece that goes to this that I normally use for most of my events. But if I have to not take the trailer, I'm going downtown, I might use the more compact version of this. So hopefully that answers your questions there. Turn your phone the other way. Okay, there we go. And then I can read your guys'. Is that better? All right. Don, ever use the outboard mixer? I've never liked any. Okay, we've already gone over that. And then everybody's telling me, hold my phone vertically. I know, Facebook Live is kind of teaches you the exact opposite of what to do when you're recording video. So if you're at your events, don't be that guy that's got vertical video syndrome. Okay, so on the back here, something else I'll show you guys. We've got our outputs coming out of the back, and this is just a box I made because what I have is the entire system run into, we've got our power con, and on this box that I made actually has the power cons out for my speakers. And then I use Siamese cables that run up to the back of the speakers, and that just gives me, you know, it allows me to run everything through a power conditioner and to keep everything safe there. Let's see, Don says the mic quick back is a great thing. I built one last season. Oh, cool. So it's you know, he uses an 8-channel Mackie for ceremonies and an AHQ16 for mains. Love them. I'll have to definitely check that out. You know, I've also seen the what some guys have done is putting taking your mixer and putting it on basically the shelving rack, the rollout, so that your mixer's still, you know, horizontal, but yet it just slides out to the point you need it. And I really like the idea of being able to take your laptop, just set it on top of, you know, not a slant mixer case, but just a regular, you know, road case for the ceremony system. I think it'd just be a little bit more versatile as long as you dress it up nice. It'll look great for ceremonies. So we've got, the reason I have stuff set up this way is because usually there is another box. Basically I built a stand, and I don't have it here because it's in the trailer. I didn't bring it to the showroom here. And what happens is this piece, which is my compact part of this, just sits on top of it. And these cables will actually plug into my lower half of the system. And it's, you know, just, you can imagine just a stand that's about the same, it's the same width as this. And down below there would be, there's 4 rack spaces on the left side, 4 rack spaces on the right, and it's just kind of a rolling cart. And what I have in there is, you know, my effects processors for, you know, tuning the room. So I was able to go with God, what is that? What is the name? You know, allows me to really tune the system, no matter what speakers I'm using, to the room itself. So the drive rack PA2. My lower console also has my wireless Wi-Fi in it, and I put just a Wi-Fi router in it so that I could control virtual DJ and the drive rack with my phone. It's got lows, mids, and highs on the outputs, but you can use those even as just output 1, 2, and 3. So if I'm doing wireless remote speakers, I can actually have control over just those speakers if I don't want to, you know, have them on the booth control. Now the way this is set up here is that I actually use my transmitter for both my wireless remote speakers as well as my my cues, so to cue up songs. And the way I'm able to do that, I definitely look at the specs on the you know, the system that you're looking at, because some of them are kind of true stereo, some of them allow you to do this. So on the back side we've got our inputs, and really what I did was just take my booth level, and this is going to be my main mix, and then the cable we saw earlier that was plugged in, that's my cue mix. Plug my headphones into the right side, plug my booth into the left, and I use the same body packs for when I'm doing wireless speakers as I do for the in-ear monitors. And the only difference is that I just set it to mono on the top here, and this has my balance left and right. So I know the way I have it set up is that if my balance is set all the way left, then that's just my cue. That's all I'm going to hear. If it's set all the way to the right, then I know that's going to be my main, what's coming out of my main speakers. And so when I'm using wireless remote speakers, I just crank it all the way to the right. It still gives me my full signal out. We'll use a cable. We've all seen these, like this. where just plug into the back of the speaker, and it's got our 1/8 inch connector that goes into the body pack. And I've got body packs for all the speakers, so they just live with the speakers themselves. And then, you know, with that, I just, as we can see, I haven't replaced the cover on this one because I took all the covers off. But on the wireless remote speakers, I use the battery eliminators, which is huge because then you don't have to worry about having batteries go dead in the middle of the event. Very, very easy to use. Let's see here. So Jason asked, what kind of ring do you get from the Galaxy system for wireless speakers? Ring, probably range is what he means. Yeah, thanks, autocorrect. Yeah, there we go. So range on the Galaxy, on the 1800 system, what's really cool is that they do have a switch on the back that allows you for your RF power to be either low or high. I don't know what the legalities are as far as the range or the power that is allowed on this thing. So I'm just going to say low and high. I always run it on high because I talked to Galaxy and they said it doesn't make a difference. It's not going to affect, you know, if you have your speakers closer than normal. I've ran my entire system off of wireless and not had any issues. Range has been phenomenal on this thing. If I run into a situation and I need more range, I'm going to come around to the side here because I'll show you guys the antenna for. This is what I have set up. That's my come on. Get this out of the way. That's my transmitting antenna. And it is very close to my receiving antennas, so one of the things I always do is make sure that system is on first, and then I'll do a frequency scan with the Shure's, and it has never ever been, you know, Shure has always, the system has always made sure there's never been any RF issues with that. Now, a lot of times what I do is I have this set up to where I also have, if I take the antenna off of this, I just have it set up as a quick disconnect. So I've got my extra cabling as well. So if I need more range, then I'll just stick the antenna on a boom mic stand, and 25-foot coax cable, get it a little bit farther away from the system and up in the air, and it's been phenomenal, man. I have transmitted this well over 300 feet with no issues. And there's been times where it's been shorter distance, but yet through 5 or 6 different walls in a building, and it still picked it up. Anytime I've ever had, there's been 1 or 2 times where I've had something kind of cut out a little bit on the speakers when people started to arrive, and we started filling the room. And if I just switch the channels up, then it's eliminated the problem. And I think that's just something that we're gonna have to we're gonna have to deal with more and more as time goes by. They are selling off frequencies, they are changing things up, and there's just more interference these days. And I'm really hoping that we don't all have to be Ben Stowe in order to do a single event where we know how to scan the environment and find a little tiny spectrum that we can use just to do an event. But unfortunately, it's getting harder and harder these days, and hopefully they're gonna find an answer to that quick. But that's also one of the reasons why I had the mic systems I was using was the Shure ULX series, but I had the M1 frequency range. They still sell the ULX series, but they do not sell the M1 frequency range because it's just in that range where it's possibly going to start being sold. So they stopped producing that frequency range, and that's why I started switching up all my mics to the new Shure system. And I've been really, really happy with this. I don't know if I'm allowed to name drop or anything, but Binstow got me hooked up with this, and it's, you know, there's one level that's above this, and I usually always just go with the best, but the level above this is definitely more for, I think, networking them together and kind of concert environments where you do have to scan for frequencies. There's some more options on the other ones, but these are pretty bulletproof, and the mics sound incredible. I hear a major difference between my old system and this one just with like ceremonies. I notice it more with ceremonies because we're using the lav mics, and you know, I can pick up the bride a lot more with the new system before we start to hear any ringing at all. And that's kind of also why I love the Drive Rack PA2, is because I can ring out the system before anybody gets there, and it's pretty incredible how much gain you can get out of the channels before you start getting any type of feedback on that. So if you guys do decide you're going to go with, you know, a case that is bigger than your controller, like I said, I did this on purpose, then kind of some of the tips is that this foam, you're going to have to be really precise on your measurements, because these are designed to snugly, if you can see how that's got an indentation, it's to really fit securely around your controller to keep it from sliding around. And so take the time, measure twice, cut once, and just make sure it's right, because you do not want your nice new controller banging around during transportation, and in a case that it was not designed for. So what I did was I took kind of a paint scraper, and I was able to get these foam blocks to come up off the sides. Created my box here. You just want to make sure it's going to fit with our front panel, because this does have the, you know, lock-in front panel before you put the top on. And you know, the bottom of this was designed for two, for like a keyboard tray, and I just kind of cut out all the foam, and it'll fit up to 3 half units in here before you run into any issues. And I mean, if you're using the other controller, you know, you might be able to get you know, 2 full rack spaces out of the bottom of this. You know, and in the future, I'm going to see how much I can push this and see where I can actually maybe get a second level of you know, pieces in here if I need it. But yeah, we're pretty much out of room when it comes to what we can put in the back here. The kind of next modification I might be doing is using this side piece here more for maybe the back side of it for like my power supplies and stuff, and try and get power into that area instead of out with my signal cables. I think that'll kind of help clean a lot of any noise up that ever happens, or from having to make adjustments at the event. And keep asking questions if you guys do have any. People have said a few things. I mean, I'm not here to say what controller's better or not. My whole thing with it is plain and simple. Use the one you like best. And for some people, you know, they have a personal preference. As long as you can use that tool to be the best entertainer you can at your events, then that's the right tool for you. There's been some, they finally got the screens unlocked here for the MCX 8000, because it is a Serato board, and I do have Serato, it came with it, but yeah, I just haven't jumped into Serato yet, and I just kind of like a lot of the features that Virtual DJ has, especially for doing some video outs. There has been one drawback, and that is when I went to Virtual DJ 8, they haven't been able to figure this out yet and why it's doing it. But you have to use Virtual DJ 8 for this board, and when I started using Virtual DJ-sz, I could no longer use Grand VJ at the same time. They started fighting over graphics properties and trying to fight over the graphics controller. And so if I started up Grand VJ, it would just freeze Virtual DJ. The song would continue to play, but the screen, Virtual DJ screen would just stop. It just freeze where it's at until I shut down Grand VJ. Also the reason we've got 2 laptops. Because I love this laptop for doing video mapping, because it's a beast, but it's definitely was a a drawback when I couldn't use it for doing video mapping and the monogram work and stuff that I do at events. Yeah, Jason. Transmitting power is like 100 milli. I know. Yeah, most of them are 30 milliwatts. I don't, like I said, I don't know what the legalities are in your area. Please consult your local laws when it comes to transmitting power of what you're allowed to use. It's incredible. As you get higher in, you're going to notice that the transmitting power is going to be more and more as you get into the upper end. This is one of their, upper end audio transmitters for in-ear monitors, and it's been the only one I've been happy with. I've tried them all. I have not tried the new. I've tried the old God, what was it? The wireless ones. I tried the old version of, I think what a lot of people end up using. Someone can help me out here. What's the name of that wireless speaker company? Let's see. I know they're around here somewhere. There you go, Alto. All right, cool. And again, I had success with the system. And they have a new digital system out and stuff, and before that came out, I ended up getting this one. And like I said, it's been phenomenal. It allows me to have 2 signals going into it, so I can use one transmitter to send a main signal to my wireless remote speakers, and a second, one transmitter to send my main signal out, and the same transmitter can send my Q signal out for my headphones. And when I'm working with a second DJ for events, and all I have to do, if I want to, we can both have the body packs for our headphones, or he can just plug directly into the second headphone input. But anytime he hits the Q button and starts queuing up a song, I'll be able to hear it in my headsets, and I'll know what's coming up next. Plus, just by using on the body pack, by using the balance, I can go between my main mix and my headphone Q mix. So if I have to leave a room and I'm working by myself, because of the range of this, I got to go to the restroom. We've all had that. It's like, we got to do this fast. You run out of the room, I can still hear and make sure the system's running and there's a song playing, and being, clear outside the room if the restroom's down the hall. Hopefully it's on a different level, so you can get back in time. So we're playing beat the clock when it comes to that. Yeah, so 100 milliwatts is their high output on that. Yeah. But yeah, it's in case you want to know which version, it's the Galaxy 1800, AS1800T. One of the cool things Galaxy also does is you can fill out a form that has just a bunch of questions for you. What microphones are you using? What's the frequency range? What's your zip code? What area you're going to be working in? And they will do a frequency scan and send you the best channels to use. And that, since I did that, that cleared up any issues I ever had when it comes to using, you know, the body packs, because like I said, the frequency ranges are, you know, they're closing in on us in the entertainment industry. So you just want to make sure you got something that's going to work for you for many years down the road. Same with your microphones as you're upgrading. Sure's got some tools online. I knew that Ben Stowe was kind of a microphone frequency genius guy, because that's one of the things he's trained in. You know, he gets sent out to do concerts and NFL games and all kinds of stuff. Hopefully I'm not speaking wrong on his behalf. To do these and to scan frequencies and make sure that the system's set up correctly. And he's really, really good at it. So getting his advice on which range is going to be best for my situation and my area, that was a huge advantage to me, as far as service-wise for a company that was going to support me. So yeah, check it out. Actually the Galaxy system came from him as well. Do I have good reception with Galaxy in-ear monitors? Yeah, we were just talking about that. It's got a couple outputs on it, high and low. As Jason kind of pointed out, the high output on it is 100 milliwatts, so it's really powerful. And the frequency range that is capable, this thing can reproduce in the body pack for the headphones, is incredible. The sound is, I truly believe, is just dependent on the quality of monitors that you're going to put in your ears. And so I use the Shure. These are ones I just got, 315s. I do want to see what they've got. Some other ones there. The way they classify these is with the numbers. So the number in the middle, 315, so 1, that just means it's got one driver in it. Sorry about the earwax. But they fit really snugly. They've got a few different tips that they come with. And eventually I think I'm going to get some in-ear molds done. And just because those usually can be swapped out amongst, you know, new ones that I get. But so the 1 stands for, you know, single driver. They have I think 535s. Or I know they've got one version that's got 3 drivers in it. But thought I'd try this because these are about $200 instead of you know, $600 to $1,000 for some of the other ones. I looked at Arnold had Offerman. A lot of you guys know him. He had he was showing some in-ear monitors, and which will be ones that I would probably never afford. I'm sure they sound amazing, but good God, I'm going to have to save up for those. Galaxy unit is the AS1100. No, it's the look for the AS1800T. You know, and just kind of see the difference in them. See what. Oh, this still has the plastic on it. Look at that. I hate that. Why is it so gratifying to just peel that off? You know that feeling. We can all do it together. Ready? Ah. I think I got all the other ones off. It's gratifying to take that plastic off. So 1800T, wireless personal monitor. We've got, I've got 4 of these body packs. And this also still has the plastic on it. And I took the covers off of the front of this because we were using them for the speakers, and put the battery eliminators in them. And I use the battery eliminators with, you know, I don't have them here. Darn. Oh yeah, I might. My next tip for today. No. So if you guys have ever heard of a piggyback cable, Hosa makes them. And no, don't have them here. So you've got plugs into the back. Basically, it's the IEC connector that we see with all speaker cables. But it's got a power adapter on the back of that so that you can plug something else into the back. Now, I was always wondering over the years, you see this blue connector here, QSC has, and the speakers come with a locking power cable. And I'm like, well, that's just ridiculous. Until you get to an event and you're pumping your speakers, and you wonder why your speakers shut off, and you walk over and it's because the vibration of the bass has rattled that right out of the back of here. Oh, and then you kind of come to realize, oh wow, those designers know what the heck they're talking about, don't they? How'd you mount the antennas in your case? Thanks, Isaac. So the antennas are, I just got two things. You might have missed it a little earlier, but underneath you'll see, get this unplugged here so I don't break anything. Let's see if we can see them. So we've got our passive antenna combiners here, and it allows you to put in, you know, both your A antennas into one and B antennas into the other. Then just a cable running up, and got a couple. Come around to the other side here. These need to be adjusted, but as we can see, we've just got that connector that you use for your 19-inch rack panel. Drill a hole, put them in, screw them together. Cable goes into one side and your antenna goes into the other. I love these because if I can either mount the antenna directly onto it, or if I'm using shark fins, then I can just plug, get my cable plugged into it without an additional adapter. And then when I pack this system up, these just come off, and there's enough room on the side for them just to sit in there and be safe. So they're always there with the system. But it is something you do have to remind yourself and get used to putting those things on, because you start an event and there's no antennas plugged in. You might sometimes you get 8 feet away from your system and you're like, well, why is that cutting out? And it comes all of a sudden comes to you and says, that's why I forgot to plug those things in. And same thing, transmitter. This is my transmitter antenna. It's loose right now. I haven't drilled that into the backside because I want to try and find a better place for it. But I have that set up same way where I can run a 25-foot coax cable. And if I need to get this transmitting antenna up higher on a mic stand, piece of cake. Plus, cool thing about a gooseneck is that if I'm doing a ceremony or something with this system, I can just take this, mic clip off and put my, shark fin on this, and I've got an extension, a second one that I can screw into the top of this just to get a little bit higher too if I want to. But then it just gives me a nice little tower there pointed at if I'm doing a ceremony with this system itself. And I think that is about it. I mean, basically, I'll continue answering questions as you guys see this video. So post them below in the comment section, and I will get back and answer them as quickly as possible. Hopefully, guys, there's, like I said, there's no right or wrong way to build your system. Do it to what feels right, what's comfortable to you, and just kind of keep in mind. Maybe make a list of everything you want it to do, and then start coming up with ideas on how to make that happen. And that's really just how this one evolved, as I wanted it compact enough where I could pick it up myself and still be able to use it for larger events where I can set it on. Hopefully next time I'll bring the bass and show you guys how that all works. got a couple of rack drawers for storage and some of the effects processors and stuff too, and another power conditioner. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.